Good morning, good morning, good morning. Beautiful day out. I wanted to give you guys a word to start your day off, to start your week off. A little bit of encouragement. Pray that it sharpens you and molds you and shapes you into a better person. And if you find it of any encouragement at all, I pray that you hit that share button and share it with your friends and your family, amen. So they also can be encouraged as well. But continuing from our story in Genesis chapter, now we're going to be in Genesis 30, in your own time, in your own leisure, or as I'm reading this, preparing this verse in this video, I encourage you to go read it as well. But in Genesis 30, now we find our sister Rachel. It says that she has become so jealous of her sister Leah because Leah has birthed her husband Jacob 4 children, yet she has not been able to birth any at all to him. It says she's so jealous of her husband. So jealous of her sister that she goes to her husband and she tells him, Jacob, give me a child or I will die. Just imagine, that's it's so powerful. Like this, you can just feel a pain when you hear those words. Give me a child or I will die. Give me a child or I will die. I can relate. I can't understand fully because I'm not a woman and I don't know what it feels like to bear a child, but I definitely can relate to her void and definitely can relate to that emptiness, that place that she was in, because I've been in places where I wanted something so bad. I've been in places where I wanted someone so bad. And I felt as if life was not worth living because I didn't have that something or that someone. Well, I remember one time when I was at this place, this low place, just as our sister Rachel was, and God spoke to me so clearly. And I know many are listening, like, Marcus, you're always saying you hear God, and he's always speaking to you. Well, I've never heard of myself. How can I grow to hear him? Well, you can grow to hear him as you learn how to begin to separate yourself from the things of this world. You can't fully separate yourself, but to separate yourself as much as you can from the things of this world. Pour his word into you. Praise and worship, and begin to meditate on a daily basis. You will begin to hear his voice. Well, this particular time when I heard him speak to me, he says, Marcus, I know you're going around and you're saying, and you begin to think that you don't have a reason to live, just as your sister Rachel. He says, but that's not true. He says, because as long as you have me, as long as you have a relationship with me, you always have a reason to live. He says, because I am the creator of things and people. So as long as you have me, I can provide anything that you want, need, and you desire. So I know many right now are in places right now where they feel like, man, I don't have a reason to live. I don't have a reason to go on. I don't have a reason to go forth. I don't have a reason to live and to go. I don't have a purpose anymore. That's the biggest lie that you could ever tell yourself. You do have reason to live. Regardless of what you don't have, or you do have reason to live. Well, guess what? Continuing in the passage, it says that Rachel wanted a child so bad. She says she goes to her husband. She says, give me a child or I will die. And it says that she takes one of her slaves, and she gives the slave to her husband to sleep with, to give her a child. She felt that if a slave would birth a child, she owns the slave, she owns the child. Now she has given her husband a child. Well, guess what? Many of us act just like Rachel. I've acted just like Rachel throughout my life. I wanted something so bad. I wanted someone so bad that I would do whatever it takes in order to have it, whatever it takes in order to obtain it. Well, guess what? You know what happens when we do that? You know what happens when we attempt to play God? You know what happens when we attempt to go around God or through God, thinking that we know what's best for us, that we can make our situation better? You know what happens? You create more hell than you do happiness. How many got their hands up right now? Saying, Marcus, that's so true. I attempted to fix it. I attempted to mend it. I attempted to turn around by myself. I attempted to do what I thought needed to be done in order to bring myself happiness, to bring myself joy, to bring myself what I thought to be love. But it didn't work. I actually made the situation worse. So what am I telling you? You have to first find joy, peace, and happiness within by yourself, regardless of what man, what woman, what child may be there or may not be there. Because you know what? If you go into relationships and you go through life attempting to put all that weight on somebody else, you're never going to be happy by yourself. Because sometimes those things won't be there. Sometimes those people won't be there. So you have to learn how to find your joy and your peace and your happiness by yourself. And once you do, when those things come, it's just icing on the cake for you. It's just icing on the cake. So I encourage you, first, find peace by yourself. And once you learn how to find peace by yourself, learn not to make irrational and emotional decisions, because you're going to create more hell than happiness for yourself. I love you guys. I love you guys. I pray this was some type of encouragement for you this morning, for your week. Please join me tomorrow morning or sometime tomorrow for the next message. The next message is going to be for the men. So men, tune in. Men and women, tune in, because that you may have a word that you can give to your man once you heard. I love you guys. Be blessed. Have a blessed and prosperous day. Whatever life has brought you thus far up into this year, forget about it. My favorite verse, Job 8:7, it says, although the beginning is humbling, the future will be prosperous. So what am I telling you? Yes, 2020 has been hell for some of us. So for all of us, we all have faced some type of adversity, trials and tribulations. But I declare that the rest of this year will be the best of this year for all of us. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.